I forgot to sell timeshares today.
I forgot to make Half-Life 3 horse.
Lois, I made Dota 3.
No. Did they?
I hope not.
It's like the same style as Overwatch 2. It's like Dota 2 shut off now. Now you have to play Dota 3.
I think we're in business finally.
We have
But thank God it interrupted us in the middle of it, not when we were an hour in. It's a good thing we're late. Fucking let's play some goddamn D&D. I've been jonesing for this all week. So, you're in the room, you're in the vault. Frederick just chastised you for trying to press the bell again. Do I need to re-describe the hallway? I will, for continuity for them. Long hallway, backlit by white, one of those all pure white lit rooms. Adamantium seems to be weaved through in most of the metal frames and important parts, not all the backlit white stuff. That's just pure white. There appears to be some sort of reinforced glass, the likings of which you've never seen, but you know it's strong. Some sort of magical force field between that. And sort of different metals, either for stabilization, decorative purposes, or safety purposes on all the different artifacts, which we'll go over in a second. But Frederick now stands behind you. The game is yours.
Well, this is a lot brighter than I'd imagined it would have been.
Well, you know these sort of things. Safety and Art Deco. It's more meant to be a hallway sort of treasures. No one, except for the master and myself, made it through here.
Are we the only other people that have ever, like...
Yes.
Why did you ask that?
That doesn't count, right?
You have one question left.
Holy shit!
I'm just kidding. But seriously, you need to pay more attention. He's right, you know.
Korvac's like gonna snap.
Know the rules. 2 questions. 1 item. And I cannot emphasize that enough. 1.
Should we get the questions out of the way first?
If you have something
That doesn't
to ask,
count.
You're asking him, not him.
If you have something to ask, I'd say go for it. It's in your head.
Well, it's only fair that I get one if you get the other.
Sure.
Mine is, can we take Frederick with us?
You know, Korvac, after all the information I've gathered from this place, no.
Well, you can take one thing. You. You chose wisely.
Gets into a fucking battle droid.
I am Chickern, and it like morphs into like, let's go fuck up the Praetorian.
Hell
We're
yeah.
not gonna take it. Secret ending unlocked. It was all a dog.
Well, I mean, there's no reason why we can't confer questions.
I mean, yeah, if you're in this room, time is... What's time? Somewhere out there, hurtling far beyond the upper atmosphere is a giant rock person who controls the ley lines to your world that he's shut off so no wizards have magic. But yeah. Confer. Take your
I
time.
just wish the day over again.
Yes, but everything you've done will be reset as well.
We can speed run it.
You've shaved off so much time! The secret is Ventrip! It's this one! God damn, he's good.
Well, I mean, the obvious one here is, once we have, like, how do we get the fonts of magic on the moon? Like, once we have that, what do we do with it? How do we bring magic back to the wizards? That would take a pretty big, you know, slice out of our pie.
Roll Arcanum.
This is why I saved these. Non-natural 20.
Something of that strong magical power. It's much like, I mean, you have identify, you know, like those things sort of seem to come to you, you know, those sorts of great and powerful magical things. Maybe not have instructions per se, but once it's like the blood chrysalis or, you know, the power source from Palor that you guys had. It's just sort of like, I know what to do, you know, sort of experience.
On second thought, now that I sort of like reflect upon it, I don't think that's a good question. I think it's probably gonna, you know, make itself clear once we get it.
I mean, historically, it has been like that, but that's putting a lot of faith, and that's gonna keep doing that.
I will take my chances. I mean, one of the questions could just simply be, hey, which one of these items do you think would best suit us? That could, you know, narrow down, you know, what item to take.
Can ask that after we look at all the cool shit in here, maybe.
Okay.
Come on, you're gonna want to. Don't give him a. Of course, you're gonna take the one. Of course, one of the questions is gonna be, Frederick, what is the best thing we take?
Yeah.
Of course, that's one of the questions gonna be. Of course, that's what's Korvac's gonna ask.
Yeah.
Because he's Korvac. He's a utilitarian.
Yep.
But at the same fucking time, you're in the museum of one of the most powerful living humanoids that has ever existed. And he's gone on record of saying, I have locked shit away that will damage the world. And you're standing in the room where that shit is locked away in. And you're not going to take a peek? You're going to take a peek.
Yeah.
You know, let the man peek.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd really like to know where Chakern got my friend Crunch from.
So that's where you're leaning.
I mean, I'm really scared he's gonna give us some bullshit answer like, from you, silly. Because we don't know what happened, but what if? And that doesn't answer everything. I do want to know, but I'm really scared that's what's gonna happen.
Hey, it does take a piece off the chessboard. And that, even if that's the obvious answer, that answers a lot more questions than what you think. Why the how? How was I giving this book?
Well, you'll
Why?
find out when you give it to him, won't you? But you know you're going to give it to him.
But now I know to give it to him.
Oh, like you wouldn't have given it to him. You were going to play keep away from Chakern. You got to give it somewhere else!
Is a time machine gonna operate?
I asked the special Frederick man, and he said you got it from Tobias. There's the other question that you were debating. If not for us, let the people know that you're thinking about it.
What was in that final painting we saw as we were climbing the ladder that kind of we only saw as we were leaving?
I'm sorry.
Only you saw.
What painting?
When we were climbing the ladder, there was like a painting, like I could see in the reflection that we did not look at.
How did we miss that?
I mean, I only saw it through like...
Thomas, it was only there because the ladder was summoned. And it was on the other side of the support for the ladder. That's how you missed it. Express that opinion to Korvac, please.
It apparated when the ladder appeared. It wasn't there before the ladder appeared.
Looking at Frederick, I'm gonna see if he was like intentionally like, you could have if you were paying attention, kind of like a coy like, like that was a sneaky one kind of thing.
He sees you eyeing him up and immediately goes, no one told you that you had to go up the ladder immediately. You chose to.
Yeah, we did.
Just ask what was in the painting.
You could. Or you could ask any number of questions. You had some good ones you mentioned.
Mike, which one intrigues you the most? The book or the painting?
I'm gonna roll a fucking D100 on this and do a 50-50. Okay. 50 and below, it's the book. 50 and above, it's the painting.
And then it lands on 50.
He already said 50 and below is the book.
That is a 15. So it is... I would like to know how Chikern got my friend Crench.
You gave it to him, of course.
I fucking knew it.
I told you. That was the question that I told you. You guys were going to hit the exact answer and be like, fuck off. Because of course.
No, like, I know, but, like, I have to play the part.
How? This is not a question for you. How did I give him the book?
Yeah, didn't ask
That
that.
is some fucking intense time travel.
I don't know.
It takes almost the entirety of my fucking magical ability to stop time for a couple of seconds. And I've
Well,
given...
you did say you could use Wish to start a day over.
But even with Wish, just the day.
Yeah.
What a...
Wait, just a day for all of us.
He looks
versus...
to all of you. Chikern's power, I do not think can be fully stated. He is more than a mere wizard. More than a mere mage, sage, shaman. He's walked these worlds, when he did, for longer than anything has apart from the Eternals. He is all of those things. He is more. You believe you know the limit of magic. Your highest level spells. You do not. He did.
Oh, see, he had 10th and 11th. He had boons that high.
How do you think?
He could have gotten.
He swam. Remember how we found the world turtle? He swam into the middle of the ocean.
Yep.
The dude earned every one of his level ups, and he got them. He also hung out with Eternals regularly, and was around through the reforging. Which means he had to experience some shit. And get taught some shit by the Eternals to survive.
Can I roll Arcana?
Of
What
course.
is the current reasoning why we can't go over 9 to our common knowledge? Like, as in, like, why...
Well, I mean, go ahead and roll. But we have kind of hovered over this topic a lot.
Yeah, that's 21.
Remember, to y'all, much of everything is still budding and new. 9th are still being discovered. It's not that there's a limit in what we think is like, this is the hard cap. It's just, we've just learned 9. Remember, everybody's been learning 9th level this whole time. You can't learn 10th until you learn 9. You can't even begin researching 10. Before this, everybody fucking thought 8 was it. And now they know Wish. And that's going to stifle people Wish. Because how can you look beyond Wish? That was a lot of other people's problems in Magnus's time. We know everything. Magnus learned that there was more, which you kind of read in your book about 10th, remember? Mm-hmm. That Magnus had discovered 10th. There's a reason why he separated himself.
This does raise an interesting, thought. Either I become a lot more powerful of a spellcaster, or Chikern jumped into the future.
Or it's all a circle. Or time's playing backwards.
It's like the loop from Futurama.
What was the... He was just in a field when he picked up the book or something, right?
Desert. Everything was new. Everything was fresh. He didn't have the scar on the eye. It was the cleanest you had seen the robes. Almost as if he had just adorned them. He looked down in his hand, saw the book, looked up at the world, and said, well, let's get to it.
What if? I'm gonna really go out on a limb here. When you press this button, resets things, but all the way back till then, well, what's inside the room stays?
But I haven't read the book yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Am I gonna do that?
Sit down now!
Korvac just takes
We're
up.
not going to take it. That's right. You guys thought it was an Avengers level fight at the end. No, it's you guys all right. All right, I roll for chapters 3 through 21.
Give me the dragon coffee.
No, he would never.
I was feeling
He's got one to consume and one to die with.
it. Yeah, but
The suicide coffee.
And it's like the ending. You thought you did it. Oh my god, it does work! They thought it wouldn't work, but I can survive! What actually happened?
yeah.
Well, like, is your heart just gonna burst in your chest? Or...
Let's find out. Drink 2 coffees.
Ready, go.
What's your question, Bob?
That is the end of the session. Josh has to make a new character.
Oh, at this point, you die, you're out. Like, you either die, you're out, or you gotta pick someone who's already an NPC and tag in with them.
I would like to actually, instead of asking a question immediately, look at things.
Okay. All in total, there are 8 items.
We don't
Buster sword.
Buster Blader?
Buster gun.
Buster Keaton?
Kenny Rogers.
You gotta know. It's just like you gotta know when to hold him. Oh,
That one.
what's this? No. He is a dangerous entity that can never be let out of this cage. That's right. Kenny Loggins is an eldritch horror in my universe.
There's just Basco in a jail cell.
Hey guys, please let me out.
Is this one of the items we can select? Yes. Shit!
That's right. That's how I bring him back in.
Preston.
Guys, I have all the answers. I'm from the future.
Preston's actually been in the crawl space this entire time. Those screams you heard, Josh, were not just in your head.
Preston.
One second. I'm gonna make a list so I can make a checklist for you because I know I'm gonna go over them back and forth a bunch.
Yeah. Nondescript orb.
We've never had issues with nondescript orbs before.
He still hasn't used it. Right? He
What?
didn't use the orb of disarmament yet, has
No,
he?
he is not.
Ooh.
Hey, don't you have a giant army amassing?
Ooh. Alright, I want you guys to do a spread out formation. Make sure you got everybody 6 feet apart.
Maximize distance away.
He can only hit so many of us.
Everybody learn Tavern Brawler now.
I wish everybody was a tavern brawler.
No.
We're making the peasant railgun now.
That would be the next thing to do if they lost all their weapons.
Okay. In order down the hall. Actually, no. Not in order down the hall on the left. That won't work for reasons. So, I'm going to say things, and then one's going to be on the left, and then one's going to be on the right, and then we're going to go to the next one. That one's on your left, and that one's on your right. So each one has about 5 feet, give or take, of glass on either side of it, and it's just like a long sort of rectangular waist level, a little bit lower for you.
Is there a step stool?
It's higher on the outside, so you can just walk on the outside steps. Got a little closer. The first thing on the left, with a lovely sort of tannish, kind of copperish metal hue infused through the metal supporting it underneath, is a rolled up scroll that seems to be very, very old and has a casing on it that seems to be sealed in wax. It seems to be sealed a long, long, long time ago.
It's just the wish spell.
You
No,
didn't
it's an
know
Elder
that.
Scroll.
Ah.
On the right-hand side, there is a something with a blue metal background. It is a metal cube, a perfect cube. It is made of brass. It has engravings on it on all sides that seem to be maybe runes, something. You have no idea what it is.
This is the nondescript orb I want.
It might have buttons. They might be decorational. It's hard to see. You move on to the next thing. On your left this time, it has a green background. It's sort of infused in the metal around it that's supporting it. It is a knife and its sheath, but the knife is out. It seems to have sort of a ruby-encrusted golden pommel and handle. But the dagger itself is that sort of like zigzaggy butterfly knife kind of like look. It's not a butterfly knife, but it has that, look at me, this sort of thing, with like a very sharp tip. And it is emerald, a little bit of emerald, a little bit of adamantium, a little bit of obsidian, like all throughout. There is... What's up?
I had to restart my phone because it was overheating.
There is, now on your right, with an orange background infused in the metal, is a... it's a thick chain, almost of like a ship. It's heavy. It looks heavy. It's got about like maybe 5 or 6 links to it, but just those 5 or 6 links get you about 1.5 feet worth of like. So that's, big. Further from that, one row down, you're getting closer to the hallway. You see that the last one on the left is actually much larger than these waist high level sort of display. There is a crystal. It just seems to be some sort of crystalline shard about the size of Korvac's fist. It's all jagged. It's not like refined in any way. And it seems to be floating in the air and pulsating. On the other side of that is a living entity that's kind of walking around. And this is actually a sort of terrarium. It's a crystalline lizard. Just sort of roaming around. You can hear a slight hum from it. Just like you can in all the Dark Souls games. You make your way to the final row. And you see Basco sitting on a chair. In the middle of the room. Hey guys. And on the other side, on a display, and it's a sort of just a flat, normal, standard white display. Just like a note card folded in half. There is one more thing. There is a sort of it's like a bonsai tree. It's sitting in the last one, and it's right before the final door, which is just a simple, standard iron grate door that you look like you can just open and walk through whenever you're ready. Frederick, who's followed you around, everything except for the plant. And he looks to the bonsai tree. It looks well manicured, but that environment is specifically designed to stifle its growth from that point. It will grow and grow and grow and slowly take over this world. It is the worst sort of parasite.
Hey, Basco.
Oh, also you can't, no, that's not Basco. Come on, guys, it's me, Basco. Open the door. He's lying to you. I know the secrets. I can tell you all about who Chakern was. The book, I can tell you where it's from. I'll even tell you, what was it that you asked? Oh, I'll tell you what was on the picture, too. He don't believe anything he says. He appears to be whatever you want him to be. And he does that for everyone. You get out him in the public, he'll disappear forever until eventually there are only him. It's not good. It's good that he remains locked up right where he is.
I look at Basco.
And it's Korvac now. Hey.
I want you to be
So-
French.
I don't.
And he goes back and sits down. And he goes back to being Basco.
I don't think we should take this one.
No.
Yeah, no, those two were specifically, he said, off the list.
Okay. So.
So the scroll, the cube, the knife, the chain, the crystal and lizard, Basco, and a note card. But Basco can't be taken. I will say this. Frederick kind of looks... Not all of these are good things. And not all of them are magical weapons or artifacts and the things that you think they are. Some of them are cursed. Some of them are bindings. Some of them are reagents. Maybe not the things they do themselves are helpful and thus cannot be trusted with others, but some of them are very dangerous and not to be trifled with. One of these items, I won't say which, is actually the prison for a very powerful, very awful entity that you do not wish to release or interact with at all.
So, fake Basco, what are you exactly?
I'm Basco. It's me, Basco, your friend, the druid?
We know you're not Basco. You're some sort of monster.
No, I'm Basco.
Oh yeah? What's Basco's brother's name?
Dietrich. You look and he's like, the more you stare at them, the stronger the telepathic link he has with you. He'll know more the more you talk to him.
Oh, I don't think I like that.
The more you give him, the stronger he becomes.
We should probably stop engaging with him.
Yes. Also, no one knows what they actually look like. Some argue that they don't even have a true form.
I'm just holding my fist. I'm like, I can't ask you what they are. I can't ask you what they are.
He just told you! Formless beings that are whatever you want them to be. So that they can fucking slowly steal more information from you.
Why would you not simply just kill something like that? That's not a question for you.
To eradicate a species? Also, maybe it's easier to trap something than it is to kill it.
So one could argue, why not kill all the poisonous snakes? But we can get.
Well, when you have the last one locked in a cage, I
Yeah.
think is the argument that he's making. Why not just...
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it could prove useful in the future. You don't know.
You can ask him. Or...
We could not ask him.
Yeah.
So,
Josh, the people at home want to know. What's your question?
where's the bathroom?
Through the next door. No coming back.
Fuck.
He's like, I want the crystal lizard from Dark Souls 1. It does the hum.
The
If we break it, it'll drop Titanite ore.
Does the crystal shard look like it came from the crystal lizard? Not at all.
Completely different. It's got like a reddish hue, purplish hue. The other one has that bright blue that you know and love.
I kind of get this weird feeling. That knife that was described kind of reminds me of what I envisioned the knife that Drow assassin was using.
Sort of. Hers was a lot more black. Didn't have a lot of that love. And then there was the other dagger that was very similar to that, the ghost dagger that you guys didn't get to see. Well, you saw it in that one person's thing.
Based on the... God, it's a really hard question to ask. Based on, the little bit of knowledge I have, could those knives be related?
Roll history or arcana?
$13.
On.
History.
Maybe. Maybe. It's something worth looking into. Master Korvac.
Yep.
It's burning in your head.
Yep.
You know if you ask anything else,
Yep.
you wish you had asked this.
Yep. Alright.
What else would you ask?
What is? Well, I was gonna be like, we could leave it up to chance and be like, which ones would curse us and just
What is love?
meanie.
Most of them.
I want the bonsai tree.
One that's basically that was like me basing super. What's that? Quasi Quetzal, the vine that we have that grows over everything here because it has no natural predators.
Shit. You talking about the moss? The fucking moss that hangs on the oak trees here?
No, it's like a fucking invasive vine. It's really bad.
Oh.
If you go out on boats, you can see them coming out of the river.
Kudzu. This. Whenever you see that, that is not from Florida. That's why it grows over everything. It's supposed to be stifled back by natural predators, but there are none here.
Why not just release those natural predators into our environment?
What was it? Fucking... One of the national parks, they airdropped wolves to start fighting back moose populations.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, that's fucking badass.
They did, I think that
Paratrooper wolves?
I think they did that in...
Yellowstone?
It was either Yellowstone...
Because Yellowstone's big. Yellowstone is, like, huge. It's a 55-mile square.
Yeah.
I think it probably more than that. What
Yep,
are you asking the people?
All right.
Oh, that's right. Did you ever tell me what you were going to ask?
What I was going to ask? Yeah, I was going to ask at this point, like, these are terrible items, so, like, what's the best one is honestly going to be what it's going to
Well,
be.
you were debating something else, clearly. What was making you edge the whole concept of just asking that?
I just always figured this would be something better. But I'm going to go with this.
Go with your gut instinct. It's led Korvac never astray. Never.
Yeah. Alright. Honestly, these things are so dangerous. What's the best thing we can
The chain.
The chain.
He immediately is like, the chain.
The chain.
You want the chain.
The chain.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of does seem like it might do Go on.
Once you say what it is, once you pick it up, I will tell you what it does. But only after you decide. I will say this. Almost... About half the things in here that you can pick from, actually, more than half, will curse you in a way that you do not wish. And then the other ones that will not be, they will be drastically helpful. Drastically helpful. Almost world-breakingly helpful. But not right now.
Okay. So if I had to put my fingers on it, the cube is going to curse us. You don't have to say anything. My guesses are the cube...
I'll tell you once you pick them up. Once you pick one, I'll tell you what all of them are.
Oh my god, we're doing the chain then, right now. I just want to know. I just want to know. I'm going towards the chain, Mac.
Listen, like, there's no tricks or japes to this. If you know, the knowledge of Chirkur and Frederick thinks that the chain is the most useful item for us, we should take that as, like, gospel. I'm sure all of these were, you know, processed, but the chain, there's something about it that's very useful.
What if the scroll has something super important to know? But we're getting the train. I'm getting the chain. We're good?
You don't want the scroll.
Okay, we don't want the scroll?
You don't
I don't want the scroll. Does Mac want the scroll?
Why?
No.
Oh.
You do not want the scroll.
Okay. I'm, getting the chain. I'm
Is it
grabbing... Wait, how do you grab it? Is there...
So as you say you want the chain, the glass and everything just disappears.
Oh, shit. That's pretty neat.
You go and you pick it up. It's about 5 pounds of chain.
A link? 5 pounds a link?
No. The
5.
chain, the chains itself, 40 pounds. No, it's 5 pounds of chain.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing's 5 pounds.
Okay.
This is the gateway to the chain dimension. A pocket dimension housed in the chains itself. It's chains of chain. Infinite chains. Chains. They want to get out and be anywhere. They will target whoever you wish to be chained. And they will be chained for as long as they can fight back. Eventually, possibly, if they are weak, they might be pulled into the chain dimension and lost forever. If they are strong, which is what I imagine you would use this on, they will be held back for some time until they are released when they break free. But these are magical chains, powerful chains, inhibiting chains.
Based on all of the items in this room, just as a vague curiosity, they all emanate magic, right? It's not like
100%.
It's not like god items.
No.
Okay.
The scroll would have driven you mad. No one knows what's on it. It was written a long time ago and is supposedly either it's maddening, gifted by a devil, just someone's cosmic joke. Anytime someone opens it, their eyes burn out and they slowly drive mad. And then it reseals itself as if it's never been opened and is long closed.
That's not very helpful.
No. The cube holds its own pocket dimension of hells and terrors that wishes to get out and ever grow and claim other dimensions.
Fucking do it.
If pressed and sent into, it is a hellish landscape, and it'll slowly start to seep out. It is contained. The knife will stab anybody you want in the back. If you think of someone and you stab with that knife, an extra planar hole will be made and you will stab them in the back. The crystal holds demon. Not even a demon. Something beyond that. Something before even primordial. A great evil. A great power. Something not for this world. It's locked in a soul jar of that size so you can imagine its power. Simply touching it risks its possessing you and releasing it. Which is why you should not pick that one. The crystal lizard. Well, the reason you shouldn't pick this is it would ruin the world's economy. It would mate and replicate and go throughout the world, and precious materials would be easily farmable. Not a good thing. The Basco you know about. The note card would answer any question you ask it.
Once?
Any question. Anytime. Forever. No,
No?
you don't want that.
You don't want that.
I kind of do.
No, you do not. You've heard of monkey paws?
So everything is as comes true.
No, you misunderstand. Yes, it is awful, but think of that one statement you just made. Everything you've done up until this point is set in stone. Is up for interpretation, is flexible, is modular, modifiable. This makes it fact. Date of your death, loved one, how something will happen.
Do we beat the Praetorian? Imagine if that was sealed in place, and it was what we lose.
Huh.
Correct. Ask yourself, if you had asked that question as you were 3 months ago, the answer would have been no. And forever, no matter what you would have done, you would have lost. Because it was said.
But knowing that, you could not ask future things and ask present things and be okay, right?
Oh, sure. You're smarter than anyone else that's ever tried that. You'll get away with it, sure.
Just
ask what lottery numbers are gonna win.
Well, I was
tonight.
gonna say like where something is.
We don't know where the questions and answers come from. What if it's malevolent? Where do you think we got it?
Can I look at the paper? Does it seem out of this world?
No, seems like like if somebody folded a note card in half and just set it down. The answer's inside of it, so you have to pick it up and look. Everyone that ever had that died. How do you think we have it? If it is such a good tool, and you knew everything before it happened, how would we ever get it off of you? It also slowly drives people mad. Anything. No wonder. No mystery in life. Everything answered for you.
Quick madness or slow madness?
Instant madness, eyeball melting madness, or slowly poisoned by your own knowing.
Is there like a medium speed madness?
Probably the cube dimension, because it doesn't happen all at once. You'd suffer before you went insane. So the cube.
These items that are all here, like, we can assume they're very old items. Were any of them maybe made by Magnus?
Magnus's things are Magnus's things. Chikern has separated himself from that in that regard. Simple respect for another wizard.
Did Chikern make any of these items?
No, these were all captured, put here for a reason. Trophies of sorts for him getting past their many trickeries and how to get to them, or defeating those who wielded them, i.e. the chain you're now holding. But that's a story for a different day. May have some wine from me.
Watch Marty get shit-faced live on Twitch.
One more time. How does one utilize the chain?
Hold it in your hand and think about who you want. Doesn't have to be inside. Doesn't have to be near.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of them. Now you see why this isn't here. No range. No foresight. Just a dimension you want to get out. No.
Anytime.
There's a bit of a cooldown, but it's not a one-time use thing.
Could we, like, chain the Praetorian in space?
It comes from the ground. The chains come from the ground. So if you use it, you would be pulling him down to the ground. Effectively doing the opposite of what you had wanted.
We do it on the moon.
Okay.
But now he'd be on the moon with you.
So it doesn't...
And then we don't want to be on the moon.
So just so I'm not misunderstanding, it doesn't take them to the chain dimension. It brings chains from the dimension.
And then it pulls them. I said, if they were weak, they'd get pulled into the chain dimension. But beings of great strength will eventually break through. But they are inhibited and nullified for a little bit. But if I say, Joe Smith, some random fisherman, he will die. He's not strong enough. He will be pulled into the chain dimension imagine a space made of nothing but chains and your body being thrown into it.
Yeah.
Constantly being moved and pulled all across an infinite dimension of nothing but chains and your fleshy body falling through that.
So Corvac, when he's entombed in his adamantium mausoleum.
Throw my body into the chain dimension so that no one will acquire it.
And the sword.
And then 3 generations from now, there'll be a stubborn Goliath just you. I can survive it. I can survive the chain dimension. He had 48 healing. I have 53. I can do it.
Holy shit.
That'd be a really cool way to die. Not the chain dimension, but not die.
That sounds awful to me, my guy.
Once you were dead, have your body put into a secret chest and then allowed to float in the ethereal plane.
Oh, sweet. Wizard's loot. What do I get?
Dad, we'll just write a
Grandma!
letter. We'll just write a letter on it.
Do not open. Whatever you do not open this chest. It's so scary.
Do not open dead body inside.
Don't open dead inside.
Don't dead open inside.
I hate it. That's the thing I hate most about that series. It's it made sense in a comic book panel. Please adjust it accordingly. So what do you do, gentlemen?
Well, we got it. We got it.
We got it.
We got it. Ready to move on?
What?
I know we burned through our questions, but this is just between friends.
Master Mac, what can I help you with?
We saw a painting when we were... Well, I saw a painting when we went up the ladder that seemed to have not been there until the ladder was created.
Yes.
What was in that painting?
I'll tell you what the painting was, but I won't tell you what was inside of it.
Okay.
It was a painting of me and Chika.
Presumably signifying something.
As they all did, yes.
Yes.
It's a shame that we'll never know what that was.
Is when you first met Kern.
Maybe. Maybe it was the last time I saw him.
Oh.
Maybe it was when he made me his butler. Maybe it was when I was, downloaded into the tower. Maybe it was when I said goodbye. I don't know. But you're not inside of it.
We can't live with regrets, right, Korvac?
Why?
I really... I wish the day would start over.
Roll history.
Every painting has been a first meeting, as far as I know.
24.
That's not true.
Except for the book. And, yeah, just the book.
The book. Him starting his adventure, for one. And then, him at the tower. He didn't meet anybody at the tower.
It's the first time he met the location of the tower, though.
I guess.
Yeah.
He said you couldn't go back from the point once you proceeded.
We could just come back. Like, once we've done all of this, we can just go back into that room.
If the ladder's still there.
Will the ladder still be there?
I don't know.
Alright, we gotta speed run the moon, Korvac.
Are we progressing?
We're progressing.
What? What is it, Master Mac? What is on your mind?
Is there anything we should know about where we're going in the moon?
In the moon?
Yeah. Other than it's the moon. Will gravity be different?
How would Matt come up with that? Well, has the theory of gravity actually been discovered?
They've talked about, we've discussed things being different in space. We've already talked about how things float in space. So as far as you guys know, the moon is in space. So it should have no gravity.
Yeah.
I'll correct that.
I mean, no, what you said makes sense. Is gravity different? We know what you're talking about. They mean it in a different way. It will be explained if you get there.
I'm guessing you can't come with us as well.
I'm in the tower. You could have chosen I to come with you. But you didn't pick me, did
I
you?
didn't know that was an option.
Oh no, you want the chains. You do not want an old goblin. Like
I want an old goblin.
you want the chains.
We love having a friend.
I would become mortal again.
Oh.
And then, would it be more...
This form would have been about a few years away from its passing. Well, from about 3 years, about 2 years I start getting out of my prime, and then 2 years from that, I'm, on deathbed alley.
2 years, like 2 years from now, he's just, oh, Korvac, please put the soup in my mouth.
Put me in the chain dimension with Korvac.
With Korvac.
He's just meditating in there. Strength.
I will free myself.
I break my bones and regrow them.
It's the ultimate challenge, like 1,000 years from now. Like a fucking...
Like, he's like Vegeta in the 50 times gravity chamber, but like him in the chains dimension swimming. So fucking powerful.
1,000 years from now, it's like a fucking high-tech cyberpunk society. And like in the middle of fucking Times Square, a giant fucking portal.
I have come from the chain dimension with my people of chains! Did he fuck the chains?
I'm a werewolf!
What is fuck? Werewolf chains dimensions? What is this? Who is this man?
I am king of the werewolves!
Let's get back on track. You make your way to the end of the hall.
Mm-hmm.
You open the door, and it's just blackness inside.
Is it like I'm adjusting my vision because we've been in a white room? No.
It's the void.
It's the void. Void as in like also nothingness? No air?
Yeah, walk through. One final jaunt before the final room. I told you there'd be a floor between floors here, just as I did before.
You want
Rolling your eyes.
No, I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm just another leap of faith.
And you've healed from that leap of faith, haven't you?
What if we go in together at the same time?
That is the intention.
Gary.
We walk through.
You instantly were sort of torn asunder, it feels like, but sort of blasted everywhere and nowhere, all at once. And then I think this is where we will take our break. I know we haven't done a lot, but we'll do more when we come back. But just to put us back on time track sake,
Yeah,
let's take our break now.
sure.
Okay.
So it's just like
Unless you want me to keep going, but this will kind of be like a cascading thing that'll take about 45 minutes.
okay.
Okay.
Let's take the
And then
break.
we got the moon.
Yeah, right? What?
It's like that weird, like I've seen like shows try to portray this where it's just like you're everywhere to nowhere at once, so you're just like getting split apart, just like mentally and physically.
Yeah, you're becoming everywhere all at once, all at the same time in this, what seems like its own dimension. But at the same time, you're put into nothingness.
Okay.
You know all things and everything, but where you are is nothing, and there's not anything. But it is an infinite space, but in a small spot. We'll delve onto it, and there will be more. More is coming from this.
Okay.
But this is just how things are starting.
Here's my character sheet.
Maybe. And then, of course, you start hearing it.
Oh,
And
hell
Neo Bahamut comes up! You ready for Neo Bahamut, Thomas?
I was hoping we can get Knights of the Nine.
Did you breed the chocobos?
Yeah, we spent like 3 months doing that, dude. You remember?
Yeah, but you didn't get the right nut from the right monster that was on the right peninsula, so you didn't get the gold chocobo. So fuck you.
I wish I had the gold chocobo.
Wow.
Why not? Once again, why not just wish for Knights of the Nine? Why do you wish for half of it?
I gotta give myself something.
You have wish! That's what was given to you! That's pretty powerful. We'll be right back.
I think I'm a better person for playing D&D.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like the people who like look at it as basically a substitute for therapy.
I do need therapy.
Yeah, but like they're the people that take it. And I was listening. One of the things they discussed in that podcast was just the concept of, hey, if you think this is like fan servicey and people are like, oh no, I get what I want. Like think about how Lord of the Rings was. Like, hey, all evil is in one thing. Just go chuck it in the lava, and all evil is done.
Mm-hmm.
Like how ultimate, how easy does that make life?
Right.
Like, sure, it's tough, but if I told you to walk through Death Valley to chuck a ring into a thing and no one has to deal with evil ever again, you would do it.
Let's take 2 weeks off, Josh, and go to Death Valley.
Please don't. So, gentlemen, you walk through the vault. You've got your chain. Where is it, by the way?
Wrapped around my neck.
Well,
Like, how are you? Did you put it in the bag of holding that Mac has?
we didn't really specify now, did we? I was basically at that till we stepped through. Holding
Yeah,
the
I'm
fucking
asking
chain.
before you step through.
Okay.
How are you holding it? I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you.
Okay.
Why not, like, have it tied around like a belt loop?
Quick access sort of thing?
Yeah.
Huh, alright. It's an adornment upon thy hip.
Yeah.
Wrapped around your neck.
Bad idea. Korvac famously had a chain around his neck. Didn't work out in the end. No, you grab each other's hand, take the final leap. You start cascading. You feel like you are nothing. You feel like you have died. You feel like you are everywhere. You feel like you're feeling sensations that you're not meant to feel as mortal beings. As you're sort of enveloping this dimension that is housed in these floors, between floors. Despite holding hands, good effort, boys. You are separated. But you are still within eyesight of each other. Chikern sort of makes himself apparent and looks between the two of you. You've all come far. For that I thank you. A secret lies ahead. One that was meant to be carried to my grave, and it did, I tell you. But if you have the power to unveil it, you have the power to unveil far more about the world than you ever knew. And past here, even more so. Beyond the world. If you are who I assume you are, and from what I can tell you are, Mark Korvac. Why are you here? You guys can see each other, but you're about 20 feet separated, and we're all sort of... While you kind of feel yourself as disembodied elements floating in this ether of nothingness, at the same time you are experiencing looking at yourself from the outside in a 360 degrees. As you do, you see Mac and Chikern. You see all of these things. You are everywhere, you are nowhere, you are inside the entity that you're supposed to be, and you are observing it. And at the same time, it doesn't feel cumbersome. It feels natural.
So we're able to reply to this?
Yes, I haven't said you haven't.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a scope.
Hmm.
And then I'm just letting you know you're not looking through your eyes with Mac right next to you, kind of thing.
Right.
His physical form's over there, but right now physical forms mean nothing.
Why are you here?
To save the world?
Yes, that's a function of what you are doing. But specifically, how will going here help save the world?
Because through here takes us to the moon.
To bring magic back to the world, arcane.
To give us a fighting chance.
Is the answer you gave everyone else. But truly, honestly, why are you here?
I mean, for me, it's kind of obvious. I can't scratch the curiosity of who Chakern is, who you are. And I want to know more. And save the world.
Because I want to see my family grow. And find out what living a peaceful life is like.
Just like clenching your chest. I don't like saying that.
Peace! Ah!
It's not an option.
War always.
I don't learn. Alright, we're done. I'm taking over.
Character progression?
I'm taking over Canada right now. I have the biggest army.
You're good.
What?
Looks you.
Even if what you learn about me shatters all preconceived notions.
Yes.
Even if through peace means sacrifice.
Yes.
You know you are tough to be killed. Anyone can make themselves indestructible. But no one can be everywhere. You think you are strong for your family. But thusly you've made your biggest weakness be those around you. Not that they might fail you, but those that wish to get to you will get to you through them. Unless the constant need for war, defense, valor. But you've made your family strong. As I made my adventurers strong for a world without me. Every adventure ends. Are you ready for yours?
Yes.
Do you mean that? Or are you saying it because you think it's the right answer? This is not a puzzle. This is a conversation.
I'm not ready to end. Like now, today.
Maybe not today, but tomorrow.
And he kind of makes a quick flick of his wrist. And there's just thousands of different memories. You see deaths, you see lives, you see fighting, you see fire, you see the first man, you see Rackdell, you see all of your friends, you see potential deaths, all in the flashes of seconds.
All this could happen tomorrow. The adventure could end. Badly or successfully.
I guess I can amend my statement. The answer is still yes, but I think the answer really is I'm prepared for it to end.
That's what I asked you. You said yes to that already, bud. Good job.
But I kind of want to lean on it more because I'm like, that is technically my thought process. Is, of course, I don't want it to end, but I am prepared for it to end.
Which is what you got from you saying that. You got it. Your character growth and good moral compassing was recognized in it. We got you.
Tell me.
You get a gold star, buddy. You did it.
Usually I get inspiration.
You said we're not done here.
I've
You answered the thing you were supposed to answer. Inspiration comes from going above and beyond.
The campaign is over, Josh.
He's
I've
gotten
won.
mad with power.
I've won.
And you.
Like you said, no one wants a story to end. But how can their story ever begin if we're still telling yours? You talk of peace, fighting for your family. Let them tell theirs. Let the future generation that you've made way for. You are all of great power, but you are forged here, in these moments. The world is new to them. The walls are crumbling. Remember how malleable you were in those first few weeks of knowing this, of learning this. In the months that we have gone, you, both of you, have grown so much. That it's... You've changed. You want the people you started as. They are there now. It's an itch and a feeling you will never have again, the electricity of potential, knowing that the world is smaller. And there are places to explore. You have solidified yourselves as the openers of the door, as its protectors, and as the spear thrusting into its exploration. As you, I'm sure, will continue to do. Serve you be successful. But you are the men you are. You have been forged by these moments. But these moments are fresh for them. It is their time. You bleed so that they live. It's not just you and your family and your people, your Goliaths. It's not just you and Maxina and your mother. It's not the people of Backstreet. It's not the people of Grovestan. And it's not the people across the ocean. The world will be different tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, more so than any day before it. And that'll keep happening every day, for ages. And you are the people that lit that fire. Are you ready for your story to end, so that others may begin? End does not mean death. Epilogues are written to tell you the story of the life of the person after the story. Be the champions of not only yourselves, of your families, of your land, but of the people in the world.
Okay. I understand. Can't be us all the time.
What?
It can't be us forever. We do have to.
Everyone thought it was going to be cringe forever. And then it was you.
Feels like such a short amount of time.
But so much has happened. The curator will tell you how many times have you changed things. He did a little over a long period of time. You've done so much in a little. It does not change. It changes scope and perspective only. Impact. You're all changing the world. You're awfully quiet.
I just agree with everything you say.
Maybe it is time for Drayden and Zergert.
They have their tasks. All of them. And they will come to your aid and assist you in the coming trials. All of the people you've gone with.
Even technically, you're gonna be helping us.
I already have. I'm not here anymore. As you know, the gun gestures. What I've done has already been done. And I hope it was enough. The only regret I lived to this life is that maybe there was something I missed. And that's it.
Did you know we were going to come to your tower?
It was a matter of when. Maybe on the beginning of your adventure, maybe you were brought to it on your retirement as a Robert would have discovered. But one day you'd find your way here. I was sure of it.
And it was you that spoke to Keith all those years ago about us, wasn't it?
Yes. And it was me that told
He kind of gets choked up.
one of my best friends to lock himself off from the world. Because I knew how dark the next chapters would be. And he's too good for this world. And he lives alone in the dark. What's the world you say?
That's fucked up.
Yeah, now that you think about it, that's really fucked up, isn't it? Hey, no Malin's coming, so can you barricade yourself in here so that nobody else can come again? And you're agreeable, so you have to do it.
Yeah.
Is that really a fate that Keith must live for the rest of time?
Time. Time is something entities like Keith see differently. Hell, I see time differently than you do. He sees it far faster than I. Is it torture or a matter of minor inconvenience? I can never know. For he is too far polite to tell me. And well, who knows for it being like that?
It's something I've stewed on for a long time, ever since I met Keith.
Go ahead.
The worst part is, I often think, what could Keith do to save us? And I know that's not the right answer.
It's all about how he's used.
We might use him right, but what stops someone else down the line.
But once again, it's about use. He is an entity. He exists. He might not breathe like we breathe, but he lives like we live. And we talk of using.
Well, when you put it like that,
An entity in a box.
a tool to be used. It is quite fucked up, isn't it? Sometimes it feels like a lot of the stuff we do in our adventures are turning beings into tools.
If it helps, I won't tell the whole story, but I'll tell enough. You know him, you've seen him. He knew what I came to ask. Before I came to ask. And he volunteered. He knows what I knew. And knew what would happen if I didn't. And he chose self-exile from the world he loved to explore, rather than destroy it.
OOC, when we saw that scene in the painting where he met Keith, I'm not misremembering it. Keith was crying, wasn't he? Okay.
He was crying and making the world cry.
When we saw Keith in your painting, he was crying. Why do you think he was crying? Was he crying for what?
I don't know why. I don't think why he was crying. I know. Where did he come from? A world that had ended. A last-ditch effort. Sent back through time. To another world. Failing to save their own. Made too late. Only once he was sent through the world, and the whirlpool, and the quantum rifts, did he learn more and more and enough how to manipulate it himself. When he showed up here,
He was,
What's that?
I was gonna say, he was grieving.
he thought he showed up to a world and was too late to tell. He thought he failed. I will use the term automaton. Early, still learning. He had just gained the ability to manipulate, and I don't think he realized that the rain he knew was making. I don't think he knew he was making it. He was a machine of vast power, quantum thinking. But when he was sent back through the rift, he was learned how to manipulate that as well. And learned how to manipulate reality. I don't think he knew he could do it. But he was doing it. He thought he had failed. He just hadn't begun. He needed a little help is all. We all do.
Did Keith ever tell us what he did before he got locked up? Okay.
Oh, you mean his job during the reforging?
Yeah.
Come on, it's pretty obvious, right? Whatever he wants in reality becomes reality.
Yeah.
Fine-tuning the gaps, whatever they needed him to.
Yeah.
He had people manipulating the world. He manipulated the winds.
Yeah.
Like, he moved things that couldn't be moved physically.
Right.
magnetic pole shifted? You want this city to be erased? Do you want this soil to be fertile? Well, they had the druids for that, but
He could have done it all himself at that rate.
it would have been artificial. It would have been from a being that didn't live, didn't breathe, didn't have a soul. Much like an AI making a sketch, it can be used to fine-tune edges, but it wouldn't look real. There'd be something about it that we would know was off. But all the other Eternals lived and breathed. He patched up the side work. He made it look neat. He made it look natural and blended. He was the man in between. Didn't expect this time to be all about Keith, but I like that it is. He's good.
I have an entirely different question that's been forming in my head as well.
Go for it.
Just to confirm, to make sure I'm not asking too wide of a net of a question. You understand everything that's going on and what time, how time is going to...
Carry the voice a little bit. Give me something. You don't have to use the back of your throat. Just do this a little bit. That's all you gotta do. Just tickle it.
When
That's all right.
Mardakath, what? God, it's hard to formalize this question. Do you think I did the right thing with Mardakath?
What is right? To me. To you. Monica? If you ask me, I say yes. If you ask the people who we killed, they'll say no. The man saved thousands of lives. He ended thousands of lives. He was not a bad soul, but a corrupted one. At the same time. He failed to learn the right lesson. Maybe without outside influence. Me. You. Maybe if he had the chance to live his life, he'll get it right. And that's what I hope for. That's all any of us can hope for. That's why we do what we do. So that people can do that.
It's all what this whole thing is about, isn't it, at the end of the day? Everyone deserves a second chance. Even monsters.
You're talking of Malin now.
Yes. Someone I'm not even sure I've won over. But ultimately the thing that makes somebody a person and not a monster is they all started off better. They started off good. Mardakath, Malin. I don't even know if the Praetorian even necessarily counts. But if they had the capacity to be good once, why not again? Through different circumstances.
It's good that you traversed the planes of possibility. It's the fact that both of you choose when to swing and when not to that makes you who you are. And like a blacksmith, sometimes your strikes are not destroying, but reshaping, which makes you heroes truly. Anyone can go into a town and kill. someone better to know when to not to.
Well, Mac, it sounds like you were right in the end.
What's right? I'm just an orc from long ago who lived, who did some things, and who died. You look up to me, sure. The world, if they knew, maybe, but not everyone. I'm respected, but I'm not an authority on every subject. We hope these things are true. Call us foolish, but we like to be optimistic. And with this powerful and can get things done, it's a little bit more than that, and I think you know that. What's on your mind?
Can I insight? He keeps referring to himself as we. Is that intentional?
We know that. He's talking
Oh,
about the
us.
concept of heroes,
Okay, gotcha.
adventurers, perspectives.
Gotcha. I was just worried for a minute.
Just get your blood chrysalis out.
He's talking about us versus them.
Mm.
Real life adventurers versus the people who claim to be.
Mm.
Or the average person. Just because you know more than them, does that mean you rule over what's the authority for what's right for them?
That's right.
I'm gonna find out that, like, all of this information, you know, that we found out is all written in my friend Crench. And it's just a weird cycle.
Yeah, probably. The fact that he...
I mean, you do have a chapter about this, yes. You leave it rather vague and imperceptive because it's rather hard to describe what is happening now. But you sum it up nicely.
Thank you. I definitely tried really hard whenever I eventually write this.
You do, and you do it well.
How do I give it to you? Or do you come to me?
We'll find out when we get there.
Come on, I want to know. This does bring up a very interesting point that I've not really delved on. Crench knew everything that was going to happen. Down to a really minute detail. Holy shit. I'm gonna beat that man.
He was the previous...
Champion of Chikern, whether he told the world that or not. And he gave his life to make sure your story could come to where it is. I didn't ask him to do that, he did it. He truly did love you.
What?
He knew he was gonna wish him to his death? Basically? He knew, and Chikern knew Mardikat was gonna do some bullshit?
He also knew that eventually I would save my own father in a trap that was created.
And kept reverse psychology you the whole time?
I don't know how he didn't go insane. He wasn't insane, was he? He didn't, like, laugh at himself in the mirror. And
Did he seem insane? Do I seem insane?
no.
It's a lot, but it's possible. He had help. When you walk through the next doors. I'm not saying you have to go through now. It's nice to finally meet you, even if it's not really me. It's good to know that I got to leave a piece of me that did. When you go through the next gate, you will uncover a truth that will only shatter things and make more questions.
Jakurin, I don't think I could take another one of those, I'll be
But-
honest.
But you realize why it was necessary to keep it a secret. You've come this far. You've reshattered and reforged many realities, concepts of reality. I'm asking you to do it a few more times. Before the time is over. I will not tell you how things end. I cannot guarantee that the Mac Fleetfoot that gave me the book that he gave me is you. I cannot guarantee who will make it through the next fight. For I cannot manipulate the story that way. But I will tell you this. A book about you will be written. The world will reflect upon what you do tomorrow. Be it its saviors, its champions, or its stalwart defenders, and the moments of ending. And the only reason a chance at a fight happened at all is because of you two.
We'll do fine, Korvac.
I think we're gonna be okay.
Because at the end of the day, with everything you've just said, I have confidence in one thing.
Wait. Jakurin. Going crazy on a limb here with the book. Did Mac write in that book? Or did that book receive the letters from another book that was written in another time? Is that the exact book? I have to at least know that.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Well,
It's a good read.
I'll read it to you one day.
and that's when he's like, no, you won't.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you. No. Cancer in 3 years.
What you count there, bud?
Nothing.
Well, Korvac, Korvac, do you have any more questions? Or comments?
You're all free to go. Before, one, if you give me the pleasure.
Sure.
Korvac. I've known so much about you, and I finally get the chance to ask. Why didn't you ask for him to resurrect your mother? Why did you wait for him to volunteer?
OOC? I don't
Just
think that.
no
Oh,
OOC.
no OOC.
No OOC.
No OOC?
I know what you said, you just didn't think about it.
I didn't think he could.
He had resurrection. He gained resurrection. He told you he gained resurrection. And you know your mother didn't die within 200 years. You guys were talking about bringing back Nesmith's family, and you hadn't even considered bringing back your mom. If you don't know,
I know.
that's still something to explore.
Yeah.
That's still an area. Vocalize it and we can discuss it RPG.
Okay. Alright. I don't know. Maybe I was afraid that it was meant to be.
Did you even think it was a possibility?
That it could be done.
It's all you discussed. Resurrections of being of great power, an ancestry, and your mother just being your mother. Didn't even think about it. I'm not saying that reflects poorly upon you. But I think it should reflect upon you that you don't think about how things can aid you. And I'm not meaning that in a schmimy, corrosive, insidious manner, but we are who we are. We need to look out for ourselves and our family. You had the power to bring back your mother. You were so concerned about how the world could be affected that you forgot that you could bring her back. Is that what I'm hearing?
What you said was very true. I don't normally look for things that can help me or see it that way. I really needed to hear that, honestly. 'Cause I didn't even notice that's how I view things.
Then I'm glad I asked.
It's always, how can I do it? How can I do this? How can I help? And here I had Mac that whole time. And I was worried about consequences and impossibilities.
How can we do this? Mac, my one question to you.
Chapter 37.
Did you mean he or he? Who was the pronoun specifically? Was it for character 8? No.
Why did you write Jar Jar out?
Why in one moment did you have a weakness to aluminum foil that never got exploited again from this point forward? A lot got dropped on you. You were just a bard. Reality hit you like a falling tree. Did you ever resent the life you thought you had? That the rug was constantly pulled from beneath you? That every lie begot a lie? You continue to go back to the same person that lied to you, and even your mother never fully gave you the truth about events, be it upon her or things she forgot because of grief. Was it resentment or what about your perspective on the world because of this? It's sort of an all-encompassing question. But you started one man. And I'm not saying you didn't, Korvac. But you thought you were of this world. You knew nothing of Trench. You didn't know you were part of his family. A humble bard now owns the
Resent? No. I could never resent it. But I had a growing period with it. I only came to terms to very, very recently.
The axe.
My indecisiveness.
We fail so that we may learn.
But it's like a comfortable blanket not making a decision. If you don't make a decision, if you don't take a risk,
You don't fail.
but if you don't ever take a risk,
You always fail.
I didn't want things in my life to change. I didn't want to be the one that makes those sacrifices, takes those risks. I didn't want to be the one that hurt my family, my friends. I didn't want to put risk into the equation. I wanted somebody else to make that decision for me.
But every time you did, you bought a piece of your family you never knew you had back.
Brought people into my life I never thought I would be able to have.
And now, your family will never be the same. In the best way possible. Not just for you, but for future generations.
How can you regret that?
Gentlemen, you're ready for what's in the next room. If you're ready to go there, no rush. Take your time. It's all relative here.
It's already like 3 hours after the Pretoria.
Relative in the opposite way.
Oh, guys, it's been 7,000 years.
You walk out, everything's dust.
I get it. It's all relative. It's over. I got it. Yeah. Stream ends. Campaign 2 coming soon.
TPK because they went to Jakern's tower.
Those idiots.
The writing was on the wall, guys. It spoke ancient Nerudian that said you don't come in here or else it ends the campaign.
In session 7, they found a ruin in Latin said never go to Jakern's tower because none of them read Latin.
It's
Well-
not even a language in 5 years. Should have taken it.
My eyeball could.
But you didn't have the eyeball then, did you, you stupid idiot?
It's a Russian eyeball. I can read Latin.
Come on, the eye's not Russian.
I did he not?
No, you fought Russians, and he was around when you fought Russians. The submarine is not from his world.
Oh.
He's from a different world, dude.
Oh, okay.
The submarine was a promise made to him because he wanted to basically launch nukes and burn everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those weren't his. That was a
It's from the
gift.
It's from the planets of Russia.
The planet of Russia.
No, it's just from an alternate timeline.
Yeah. They called their land Russia
USA. USA.
instead of Pangaea.
USA.
Yeah.
USA.
USA.
Glad communism wins out. Space!
So what do you do, gentlemen?
You ready, Korvac?
I'm ready.
Without further ado,
It's been a time and a half, gentlemen. And I appreciate every moment we've had.
I'll make sure to autograph the copy of the book I give you, and I give him a wink.
You already did.
God, I'm good.
Well, you made the promise, so you kind of had to. Best not to think about it.
What? No. I made the promise.
You just did! and you're off, and then you just, like, you go flying. And then you replace blank, nothingness, and void with the void of space. Stars. Planets? That you thought were perhaps just distant stars. That were closer and larger. Current seemed to have Nern.
Is he from the
And-
West Country?
Not a solarium, but a solar system model in this sort of planetarium.
This is where we find out a giant meteor is hurtling towards Pangaea.
Yeah, it's
Final Fantasy
This is
VII.
where you get Neo Bahamut.
Got my golden chocobo.
Frederick is by his side. Welcome to the planetarium. Fuck! Jesus! Welcome to the planetarium. Final test. And then you kind of see Pangaea sort of floating in the middle of it. Not in the middle, because the sun's in the middle. But just off, kind of the main focus. And the moon itself kind of indicates and sort of zooms in when he says that. There's like a planetarium-esque model, the solar system thing that you made in high school, in the middle of the room, but on the outside is sort of like a projection of the planetarium and all of the stars.
Okay. So I see you've used a model where Pangaea isn't flat and also not the center of the universe.
Yeah, this is going to be a very big shock to you, I think, that maybe. To people that don't understand everything that's happening in the world. Yeah, it's round. We orbit the giant orb in the sun. You know it's the sun.
Not that I thought it went around us. But I guess not.
No, we go around it and we rotate at the same time.
Oh.
It creates the illusion of that's not what we're here for.
Okay.
Is this the mind-blowing secret?
No, the secret, he kind of gestures, has already been revealed to you. It's just up to you to decipher it.
May I make an insight check?
You may make a perception check or an insight check.
Can I smell the destination?
Insight or perception, it's up to you. Just tell me which one you're rolling.
Perception. What it's there for, baby.
God damn it! Oh, I thought that was a 12. My bad.
24 on perception.
Go ahead and do your thing.
Do insight.
You're better on insight, aren't you?
That's the same. 25. Insight.
There's bits and bobbles about the planets. Are they there? Yes. They clearly are not designed as mainstays. These are clearly designed upon reflections of the Earth and its rotation. It's clearly meant, while everything else is recorded in its sort of own, like, yes, this is authentic, this is accurate, it's clearly meant to be a view of the perspective of Pangaea. Pangaea appears to be its focus, its moons, its celestial bodies. Everything else is around the room. And its view of the perspective of the stars. Because, as you might or might not know, your view of the star map will be different depending on which planet you're on. So, because of the star map that you can tell, is like, I've seen some of these. Some of these I have not. And as soon as this starts happening, you start seeing a lot of similarities in the night sky that you normally do. And some you do not. There's something in the stars in this room that are not akin to the normal stars.
But similar.
No. All of the normal stars that you would think are there. Plus. Not, oh, these look reminiscent, so it's a different time. No. I know that constellation. I know that constellation. I know that constellation. That's where it's supposed to be. Never seen that, though. What's that? Never seen that. That's right. That sort of thing.
Are they also stars?
Yes. The celestial bodies, all of those, that you can kind of like, okay, there were people saying that that might be a planet close to us. There's some people saying that might be a really close star. That you're kind of getting over pretty quickly because the map is pretty well made, but because nothing is focused on it, you can see that it's just sort of a body that is observed. But the thing that's most striking out to you right now is that there are constellations of stars that you've never seen before.
Hey, Frederick.
Mm-hmm.
Why are there, like, extra constellations in this planetarium?
Which one?
I guess I'll point to...
Roll 20. I'm gonna ask you to do re-rolls here, most likely. So be aware of that. It's not anything you've done.
That's a 20. Natural.
Re-roll. It's not. You're not doing a check.
I know.
I'm just
funny
trying
he
to.
wasted it on that.
14.
You see a constellation, but you see one that doesn't make sense. You see a constellation that's there. You point to it and you're like, whereas other constellations you can be like, yeah, it's the crab, it's the eagle, it's the bear, you know, and then you can recognize them. You point to one, but you can't kind of logically put any sense behind it. Roll again. So it's one of the ones that you haven't recognized, but it doesn't have any logical sense to it right yet.
19.
Again. If you roll above 14, I don't want to know. Just re-roll.
2.
You point to a constellation, and as you do, it starts forming, and you can kind of see the outline as you point to it start going, and it's the form of a dragon.
Yes, you mean the constellation of the Eternal Dragon.
That's not seen from Pangaea.
No. No, it is not.
Why can't we see it?
Because it's symbolic.
Symbolic of what?
The fact that, while almost no one knows who the Eternal Dragon is, his mark on the world is felt by everyone.
There are more. Korvac this time.
Five.
You start seeing a sort of perfectly circular, not oval, eye. Not the normal eye with the lines, just an eye with this sort of thing.
The constellation of the aberration. Keith.
Okay.
From this point forward, you only need roll d12s. I've shrunken it. What
So
is on the mind?
all these constellations are that we can't see are the Eternals.
I already explained this.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't see them. They're symbolic reflections. They're not constellations that we can't see.
Oh.
They're constellations that he put here.
Gotcha.
Symbolism. Metaphor.
It's a metaphorical planetarium.
Well,
I'm gonna see if I can find another one. I kind of want to know what he did for. Well, Nibiru's probably a spider, but Volcanus. But can I like specifically look for like one that might be Volcanus?
absolutely. Give me a perception check. His name's not Volcanus. Vulcan.
Vulcan. I don't know why it's Vulcan.
I mean, he's a volcano, so it makes sense.
16.
You look and you look and you look, and then you see it. There's a star that's just bigger than other stars. Not big enough to be a planet like the other ones, but big. And kind of obviously big. And then in a close circle around that, another bunch of big stars. But the one in the middle is slightly bigger. And then as you illuminate it and think about it, got me going at Vulcan sort of displays behind it. Much like he does with the Eternal Dragon. And did we do another one yet?
No, we
No.
did the Eternal Dragon, Vulcan, and the Abjuration.
Yeah. Aberration.
Aberration, yes.
Abjuration's a school of magic. And those have all now been permanently illuminated.
Let's see.
I'd like to roll a d12.
Go ahead.
And that's
4.
That's it. That's all. That's all you get.
You see a top hat.
The first man.
And then the curator is seen behind those stars, just as the Eternal Dragon, all the others.
Okay. So I'm gonna be looking. I wanna like guess ahead of time and learn this. I'm gonna look for a spider.
Go ahead, give me a perception check
Is it a
with
spider?
advantage.
It's a spider. Sick. 24.
You look, and there's a constellation, just as you presumed. An 8-legged spider. And behind it, Narub is projected.
All right, your turn.
10.
That might be a reroll at this point. We'll see, but hold on. 1, we've done that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just going to do the last one. From this point forward, only roll a d8. You see a long fish, bespectacled with many small stars inside of it. And the great koi is behind it.
We'll look for two things. Either the helmet of the first man or a strong figure.
A strong figure.
Could be the giant or not the giant, but the
Define a strong figure in a starscape.
well, yeah.
An arm flex.
what I can do, yeah.
All right, the helmet then.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
The shotgun constellation.
Shotgun. That's 11.
You don't see anything. Go ahead and roll me a d8.
8.
Why are all of your die rolling high all of a sudden?
He loaded them.
Oh, okay.
I melt them in the microwave.
That's what I do.
Your car's not a microwave, Josh.
Oh,
Once again, you hit the constellation. That makes no sense. You can't make anything out of it, but those stars are not there.
going for a serpent. Big old snake.
Okay.
20.
Absolutely. There it is. Slithering S-shaped snake with a big old head at the end. The world serpent illuminates right behind it.
1.
You see a giant humanoid shape. Ill-defined other than that. And the Titan illuminates behind it.
I was looking for that one.
And you?
D6
from this point forward, if you decide to go that way.
I'm gonna say 2 birds.
Zapdos and Moltres.
2 birds!
Sitting in a hot tub?
5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Hell yeah.
Zapdos and Moltres.
I love that you could start taking this approach and you're like, I'm going to roll the die.
I think you attack it from 2 sides.
Yeah, I get it. But never change.
So never. No.
He has better eyes than me.
20,
Okay, yeah, that's enough.
oh, 26.
Much like, what is it, Sagittarius that's 2? Yeah. No? I can't. I think Sagittarius is the twins, isn't it?
Oh,
I don't know.
Christine.
I don't believe in magic. But I will say this.
It's magic?
Shut up. You see 2 birds in crest apart from each other. And the Phoenix and the Quetzalcoatl form behind them.
Hmm.
Thomas?
5.
Again, I think you might need to re-roll again.
No, you lose your turn.
D4 from this point forward, my apologies.
4.
This is why I asked the D4. Because if I knew I made it. Because it was like, D5 was the same thing again, and D6 was re-roll, and I'm like, just fucking D4. We already did that one. So 1, 2... You see a sword. You see a shield. And then you see the first man behind it.
So not his helmet.
Alright. I'm gonna look for a gaping maw like from the worm, or maybe it's just the worm itself.
Tell me.
Does 24 do it?
You see a sort of... You see a maw, but it is a refraction of it. It's just a piece. And then upon it, you see what seems to go far beyond that, and then it sort of trickles out, and then the worm.
3.
3?
It's still like, nope.
Flip a coin at this point.
Nah, I just divide by 2. You see a turtle, a flipper, flippers, and a head. And the world turtle is illuminated behind it.
The Praetorian.
You haven't done that one? I love that you said that. I'm like, you haven't done that one yet.
I know. I'm trying to think what else. So what would be the shape of the Praetorian other than its, like, their head,
Big, thick boy.
right? So like a bug-like creature, kind of like just the head, not like the body. Do I see anything
With that. 15. Nope. That's
1.
You see the shape of a whale that's wider at one end than it should be. And then the Leviathan appears in the air.
Have we seen the Great Worm?
Yeah, he did that.
Yep, I did it. So it's just the Praetorian, right? Are we missing anybody?
Yes.
Nope. Okay. Well, I'm gonna roll for
Praetorian, but maybe this time more symbolic. So like Tinker's tools
Magic wand.
or Well, he built the vaults.
He
so-
didn't build them like you would build them. He built them...
Yeah.
So maybe a flame or a rod or something like that. Something that symbolizes magic.
Go ahead and roll me a perception. You're gonna need to roll really high with how vague ass
That was
something
pretty.
to do with magic is.
I'm a little.
Just pulled a rabbit out of a hat.
Yeah,
right.
more or less. He
18.
just doesn't want to. He wants to roll a d4, but he just won't succumb to it. You got nothing with an 18.
I'm shameless.
It's working.
I'm afraid that's the one that he can't make.
2.
Why, Josh? Explain your logic. I don't know what about your logic until I know. Explain your logic.
To me, a lot of the Eternals have easy symbols to understand. And
But you know enough about them that you should understand them when you see them,
right.
as you have been, like when he sees them. When it's sort of like, you rolled a 2?
Yes, sir.
As now, when you see a sort of it's not a constellation, but more a nebula, like a burst, representing the ley lines itself. As the Praetorian illuminates behind it. There is one that you know is absolutely missing.
Yep.
Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Fae. I can't believe I forgot that fucker.
Fucker.
Go ahead and roll me a perception.
That's a 15 again.
You see a tree. That's not supposed to be there. And then you see the Fae. Give me a perception check, Thomas.
I get advantage.
You are perfect after all.
I am perfect. 23.
Empty spot. Everything is filled. There's a place for everything. There's a void right here. And then there's the constellation that makes no sense.
Hey, Frederick, why is there like a constellation that's like, doesn't make sense?
What are all the other constellations, Master Mac?
Of the Eternals.
You are missing one.
Are we?
Just close my book. I don't know. Is
What are we ordering for food tonight, by the way?
Wanna do Chinese?
You want to get that going?
Sure.
I want to do Japanese.
They have Japanese and Thai stuff there.
Where is it? There she is.
Sure.
Vocalize it, don't internalize.
So we have Titan,
Done.
Leviathan, Eternal Dragon, Fae, the Aberration, the Curator, World Serpent, World Turtle, Phoenix and the Quetzalcoatl, the Great Koi,
The Great Worm
the Great Worm, Vulcan,
and the Praetorian.
and the Praetorian. I have
All in total, count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But it'd be 14 because Quetzalcoatl and the Phoenix.
The Quetzalcoatl and they're a pair, so it's
So
14.
14. Yeah.
And there's a 15th slot.
We've already got Rangoons in here.
Ooh, we're doing Rangoons this evening?
The Goon Squad.
I have a whale written here, but I thought that was the Leviathan, so I'm confused.
The whale on the constellation had a Leviathan behind it.
I know, but on my Eternals list, I have Leviathan and whale listed separately. I'm like, why?
The whale is probably the Leviathan. If I'm gonna take a guess.
I was ordering food. Keith was accounted for, right?
Yes.
Is there like a secret Eternal?
Ugh. Like, I'm not insane. We saw them all.
The Thai red curry's the one we want, right?
Yeah. The green curry is energy efficient.
Oh, is it?
Is there a green curry?
I think there is. There's 2 curries. But green curries are a little bit too sweet, in my opinion. I prefer red curries.
Wait, is he saying that, the... Is he saying that the...
Do what you gotta do, one thing at a time.
The turns the Eternal 2? He walked with them.
Tell you what,
Yeah?
I'm gonna take a quick pee-pee break.
Okay.
You finish ordering that. Put your thoughts together.
You can get anything off of the side. Josh, it says you got fried rice. Except squid. What you thinking?
C4. Screw it. We're gonna. Which one would you prefer over these two? Hawaiian Roll or Lion King?
I would need to see what they are. I mean, they're both good. But I like spicy tuna. Shrimp tempura is pretty good as well. It's really down to what you want. Shrimp tempura will be a hot sushi. It'll be a little bit spicy.
I'm not into spiciness right now.
And then you just ordered the Lion King, the spicy one?
No, the Lion King's the
Oh.
spicy one. It's just a shrimp tempura.
Actually, the shrimp tempura one will probably be less spicy than the spicy tuna.
That's fine.
Yeah. I have been awake since 7 a.m.
I've been awake since 6:30.
Why?
Just kidding. I took a nap.
Why were you awake at 6:30?
I had to get blood work done. And then in my
You
car.
just can't let your girlfriend keep doing it.
You just take my blood?
Josh, it's 4 p.m. Time for your bloodletting.
What? Yeah. Alright, I have ordered. I also got egg rolls.
Egg rolls, Lion King. Is that all you're getting?
Is that not a lot? I feel like it's a decent amount.
You'll get a roll of sushi, which will be like not too big, like that much probably.
Yeah.
You're satisfied?
Telling you, stomach's a little bummed.
You already placed the order in, right?
Yeah, I'm doing that now.
You need me to verify anything or anything?
No. As long as Josh hasn't been deleting stuff.
Flurry.
Yeah, actually, it's been a long con.
I think I just unmuted it. Yeah, I did.
Whoops.
Cool beans. Sorry about that horrible audio.
So we come to the conclusion that it's D&D where we gaslight Alex.
Okay, so standard stuff.
Standard stuff, which is why I deleted your flurry again.
Again? Thomas, you talk?
Hello there.
Okay, just making sure we're good.
30 minutes.
Got it. So what have you discovered about the missing constellation?
I'm still down with the clown of it being Drakurn's, unless because in a way he.
Can you turn it up?
Oh,
We're talking up.
Mm-hmm.
talking up. How's this? Is this any better? We're talking. Can I go? How's this? A little better?
Yeah,
All right.
we're getting there.
Okay. So, Jakurn in a sense was an Eternal. Is that what we're referencing? I really
Roll a perception check.
I'm really sticking on that one. 19.
You look. And you see a staff with a hand on it that sort of then goes out. And Jakurn is illuminated behind it. And the ladder seems to go into infinitum, appears in the middle of the room going upwards. Frederick looks to you.
He doesn't feel this way. He didn't make this room in reflection. Jakurn is an Eternal. He wasn't an honorary one, but he was the only one made one, if that makes sense. He had an important job, much like all of them had jobs from that point forward. His was important as well, and ultimately led to the sacrifice of his life that it did. He made it to them. He walked amongst them, and he made the promise. And for that, because of that, well, now he... After everything that had come and done, they made him an Eternal for it.
Can you sit fucking still? Thank you.
I mean, it only makes sense. Without him, none of this would have happened.
Sorry, but Jesus Christ, guy.
I am in a lot of pain. I'm sorry.
Like, come on. You gotta give me a break here. Turn the vibration off, for the love of Christ.
The things that happened. The world that was made. The world that was left behind. The things that he witnessed. The things he had done. He made them gather together in a way that they had never done before. These were beings that existed in this plane, that were recognized as individuals of power and things that existed in time immemorial. Collectively were brandished Eternals. They never once all sat together until he made the promise that got them to agree to work together. Of course. After that, after the reforging, to survive the reforging, the things he had learned, the power he had achieved, everything he had up until that moment, it made no sense other than to make him an Eternal and to give him one final job. Gentlemen,
He gestures toward the ladder.
what you came to seek awaits atop that ladder.
Huh. Does it look like it's just
It goes on for infinitum.
Okay. Thought you'd have an easier way. Up we go, back up we go. And I start climbing.
What a thrill.
Oh, fuck.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. Start climbing.
I join him. I ride on your back.
I just realized ladder spokes for set up for a Goliath would be very different for those set up for a halfling.
But it's best not to think. It's best not to think about it. You guys are both climbing a ladder at equal speed, regardless of size.
Cool.
You're double ringing it.
Got it.
And then, what would that mean for you? You're triple ringing it to keep up?
Well, it's a normal sized one for me, but him, he's just skipping a sprint.
Oh, I see. I thought he was just like, ha 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 ha.
No, I'm
Sorry, Mac.
I'm just doing it slower.
Alright.
You make your way up.
Does it, like, when we're going up, does it look like we're actually going, like, into the stars, like, around us? We can see the constellations, like, how do we see
As
it?
you walk up, you slowly see the room behind you disappear as you climb upwards and upwards, and it seems as if you are climbing upwards towards the stars. But, you know, they're light years away, so for you to climb up in any direction to change the perspective would take a lot.
Okay.
There's no secret paintings either.
Go ahead and give me a perception check on secret paintings.
I actually want to modify that. Is there anything different that we can see from this perspective?
Go ahead and give me a perspective check. That's a much better thing to ask.
24.
You eventually get to the point where you stop going further away, but you no longer seem to be progressing upwards.
Are you feeling that, Cormac?
Roll insight.
Would this be just because of relativity? 18.
You feel it. Could it be because of relativity? Or could it be because you're not going anywhere?
Well, I continue climbing.
You gotta vocalize. He asked you a question.
Oh. Well.
Do you feel that?
Feel what? Oh. No. No. I feel nothing. What are you talking about? No, just kidding. Yeah, it doesn't feel like we're going anywhere.
It is an easy way to test this.
And you hear immediately in the back of your head,
Can't go back.
you can't go back from this point forward.
Gotta keep going.
Yep.
Onwards. Upwards. Again and again. You get to the point where you start thinking, you start seeing the same rungs of ladder again. Over and over. Upwards in a never changing perspective.
I kind of stop for like just a second. I take a handkerchief out and I just tie it to like the ladder. Just to make sure if we pass by it again. And I keep climbing.
After a while, you look down, you see the handkerchief disappear. And you keep climbing upwards. And eventually you look upwards and you see the handkerchief again.
Oh good, we're trapped in some sort of...
Why is there a handkerchief?
Roll history or insight.
Um.
You saw him tie the knot. He said he stopped.
Yeah.
20.
Because you haven't beat the challenge yet.
Hmm.
Every other room has halted your progression until you solved the problem. You haven't solved this world's problem yet. You've beaten every challenge up until this one. You thought this one was a gimme? You got the planetarium. This is the ladder.
Ah. Oh, I didn't know that was... Okay.
I wish Frederick could come with us. He's just climbing under.
Yeah, I'm back here!
So what do you think the challenge is? They've all
Roll
been-
history or insight? Hold on. No, please have your moment first.
I was gonna say...
I know he was in the middle of saying something.
Every challenge we have has had a metaphorical, spiritual aspect to it. It's not just been like a test of, endurance or something. What is this asking us? Cut to the chase. What is this? What is the secret to this challenge? What is it actually asking us to be insightful of?
Not really sure, Mac. Because this ladder goes to, or is somehow the way to the moon. I don't know if the ladder itself is, or it's going to a spot that will bring us there. Do I feel like the full sense of gravity on me?
You feel like if you let go of that ladder, you'd fall downwards.
Okay.
And you feel like you'd fall from such a great height that death is inevitable. Because you are in space, but you still feel like you'd be pulled down. Letting go now will mean death.
Okay. So I'm not feeling the letting go bit.
No, it feels like a ladder to the moon, to the earth, but you feel like you haven't made progress in forever,
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah.
And you look down, you're like, oh fuck, that's the earth, and I'm being pulled towards it, which makes no sense because I'm in space.
Yeah.
And if I let go now, I'm surely dead. I've come out of a lot of shit, but this will kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Persevere. You're right, Marnie.
She said the solution, you just couldn't hear it because you couldn't speak cat.
Oh my god, Marnie.
How we looking?
11:15 is the estimated time.
So...
Perfect. Is everything okay?
What
I'm just opening up my app again.
what could this ladder possibly be asking of us? Or what does it mean? Is it perseverance? Is that what you think it is?
I mean, if we know one thing about Chakern, is he dealt with a pretty sizable challenge. Probably felt like he couldn't complete it, but he persevered.
Roll insight. Both of you.
18.
18 cents. Okay. Enough, but alright.
Indomitable.
He's got to do better.
24.
It's obvious that there's always something. Yes? There's always like another like this is the answer, this is what you gotta do. It's never been so surreal as something like, I don't know. What is it? It's never. Oh, thank you, Marty. Appreciate it. It's the concept of yes, it is about him persevering. The lesson in the task normally has something to do with what is going on, and the perseverance is the right concept. But there was a preamble to what you're doing now. And that concept should be attached to that preamble to what you're doing. Much like most of the tasks have kind of had a build-up that led to you to sort of put the final piece together. Don't ignore the build-up here. Sure, you're persevering, but just simply saying, persevere like Chakern did. How did he persevere? What did he do? What was
Well, he persevered with full faith that he had the answer.
What answer?
Well, the two that come to mind was when he visited the turtle and the curator. He did something that put himself in so much danger. He did it anyways. He knew exactly how the outcome would be.
That led to perpetuity to what? All of that, and you're right, was a lot of personal sacrifice. Led to what? That was even more so. Yes, individually, those were horrible and dangerous things. That wasn't it. He still kept going. He wasn't an eternal then.
No.
He still kept going and did more. And it culminated on one thing. We've talked about it before. This isn't some mystery.
I know. Is he culminating on...
What did he do
He
when he gathered them all?
had the promise, and he rebuilt the world and gave humanity a second chance.
And what was the promise?
That humanity has potential to do great things, and they deserve a second chance.
Yes, you kind of have gotten the gist over time, but you haven't ever heard what the promise was.
Nope. Wow. We had Chikara sitting right in front of us, and we forgot to ask him that.
You can send to him. Send to Quarth. Hey.
And he'll give you this. It's not for me to define that twist of your fate.
No, please.
Fucking Guy Fawkes.
Please, Quarth. Please.
Please.
Please, you don't
You don't understand. No.
We're on a ladder to infinity.
You're not on the same plane as him either.
What was the promise? I mean, obviously the promise, when he made that promise, was enough to escalate him to being an Eternal.
On top of many things. I.e. surviving his interactions with everybody, making to it, surviving the forging of the world.
You don't think he promised our story? Did he promise our
You're looking at
story?
me like you're expecting me to respond to that, Thomas. He's talking to you, buddy.
Because that was, like, the most evidence he had.
What if he just read My Friend Cringe to the Eternals? And they were like, this is really good, we want this to happen.
I'm saying it's not impossible.
No, you're walking around saying I'm the biggest and the strongest.
It's a good book.
It is a good book. No wine for you.
She's an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Ooh. But that's a good line of thought. Josh, you shouldn't stray from it.
But we know he became an Eternal, but all the Eternals kind of have a theme to what they are. What was he?
Does he not?
A unifier.
More than that.
The human Eternal?
The
Roll
friend.
insight or... No, just roll insight, Thomas.
Nat 20.
Perfect. He's exactly as you said. The element. The one thing missing. A proper fucking living being. Representative. The achievement of what they were hoping. Can humanity rise to their ranks? Can the humanoid races? And he did. He did exactly that. As you start culminating this mindset, the world around you becomes an example of that meeting long ago with the Leviathan deep in the recesses of the earth. It's dark. Jakern is sweating from the pressure and the pain on his body. The rest of the Eternals gather in this massive congregation room, and he sits before them.
I promise that in time, if you give this world one more chance, that it will not rely on you. It will not demand you take care of it. Nurture it like a garden, sure. But in time, you will see that there are more like me. Others who will grow and lead these people outward to safety. To beings like me. The concept of Jakern, what I am, what I can be to you all, will not die with me. Others will come, just as I have, and fill the walls that I have, and impress you all the same. If only you give them another chance, I promise this. And you will not be disappointed.
And before you, you see the moon, much closer than it has been in a long time.
You ever? I'm starting to get the feeling. I do relay what just happened because I realized that was my own.
No.
Okay.
That was the world.
Yeah, we saw it.
Okay. My insight's that great.
Let me tell you something that just happened, little guy.
I kind of get the feeling from that the Eternals don't want to be greater beings. They want to just live in this world with us. But they can't, because we look at them and say, oh, those are our gods, please help us, please save us. They can't live on a world they've created.
Roll insight.
25.
It's the opposite. They've fledged this world. They've been on this world. They've dredged this world. They've walked it, and they watched humanity despoil it. They gave up. There was a reason why they stopped. Because it was Eternals save us. Eternals do this. His promise was that there'd be more like him. People willing to unite rather than fight against, which is what they've known. His promise was, you won't always have to take care of us. There's gonna be others. Now, I like that you looked at it, and I'll give you a point of inspiration for saying it's sort of a rising too. And as good as it is that he is suggesting that, and that is what he was suggesting, the ultimate message, the promise, was you won't have to take care of us. There's going to be more like me that will do that, just as I have done for them. You look like you have something you want to say.
I communicate that insight to you.
This one hell of a promise. We need a... Is there a part of you that thinks that you might circle back around? Start all over again when we're gone? There's no way to tell, but... How are we going to make sure that this promise is kept?
Keep doing what we're gonna do. The Eternals are not fighting the Praetorian for us.
Roll insight, Josh.
Unnatural.
You are the promise.
I mean,
You're not all of it.
no.
You're the beginning. Chikern was the crack in the concrete. The Eternals were the water poured over it. A small blade of grass growing in it right now is you. You're the culmination of his promise. And if you do what you need to do, you're proving it true. And you're gonna crack open that concrete, and you're gonna perforate more grass. Just as Chikern promised you would. Promised someone else would. That all evil all the way down. That given another chance, given a proper chance, given a chance devoid of the poison caused by a civil war, all the people that he burned in, all the people that he lived in the world around Chikern, around that time period, were people perpetrated by corruption, by magic, by horrible things. If given a proper chance, if given the opportunity of a reset, they would be good. They would strive. They can achieve what they're supposed to achieve. Flowers don't grow on ash alone. But you put ash in the soil, and that's fertilizer, baby.
I mean, I get that we're the promise. As long as we keep up with it, it should keep going, is what I'm hearing. The next generation will be the answer to this promise again.
I think you look too deeply into things.
I think I do too.
There's no concrete, culminative answer. Just be the man you are.
Just keep doing what we're doing.
He believed in you. You don't have some standard you have to live in. He looked up to you for that. It's not something you need to do, it's something that he knows you will.
We're somebody's Chikern.
And yet that ladder still stands before you, and the moon is ever closer than it ever has, and you guys haven't moved an inch. Thunderstruck by what has happened.
I get to be eternal. We get to be eternal. I get to be eternal.
No, that's not what I meant. I just love you. It's just Max, just kind of like, oh, you good? What's going on?
Just looking at your gooch this entire time.
Yeah, a lot has happened. You good? Here we go. My arms are tired. I'm not a quarterback. Go ahead and give me a strength check, by the way. I'll make it a strength saving throw.
Oh God. Gives yourself the nat one sitting there.
I can reroll those.
You have a nat 1 on your divination die?
I have 1 and a 7. I was like, are we gonna get to combat? 8.
8 total.
Yeah.
Arms weak.
Mom's spaghetti.
Already.
Korvac, I can't keep doing this.
I'm sorry. Okay. To the moon, right?
To the moon! You're actually not really far at this point. You make your way up, and you're actually physically making progress again. And as soon as you make that crevice, as soon as you pull yourself up, you sort of, almost as if you were teleported again, just like you did when you walked into the void. And you find yourself standing in sort of like a waiting room in an atrium, in a different sort of construct made by a different person, not your current. And then shortly after, just seconds, as he finished climbing, right behind you. And then a projection. Samesies. You're like, you're doing the arm thing. And as you're doing this, a projection of a man you've seen long ago. A tall man, an older man, a gaunt man, balding, a little bit of a patchy, sort of elongated beard. Magnus appears.
Oh, welcome to Magnus's tower on the moon. I'm not entirely sure how you have made it here, but I am glad you have. I have many secrets, but I am no longer here. May you go through my records and my spells, but may you do so with kindness, with respect, and with the knowledge that the things here are capable of doing great damage, or very great good. There are matters which here that I've long since gone, and I have done and seen things happen with which I regret and will mull over for time immemorial. But for now, may I do some good. I know that the laws of the adventurers, finders, keepers, but there are things here that might best left alone. If you are here on the second moon of Pangaea, then you know of my third base, my primary base on the third moon, that this is my auxiliary, that this is where I keep my battery, Arcanum. It is power. Use it wisely. I've watched men in civilization fall. I've watched good become evil. I've watched power for good go to evil. This, if I'm no longer here, is no toy. Enter upon your own regards. Godspeed. Happy learning. And he disappears. And before you say anything, another sort of blotchy and scratchy, made clearly later, and it's Chikern. Hello. Sorry to lick the bootstraps of a great mage like Magnus, but my name is Chikern. If you've made your way through here, not in the normal means that Magnus had presumed, he thought someone would fly through space and teleport inside when he saw a tower. Regardless, I found a way here. If you found your way here through that regards, be mindful. The man laid traps, most of which I have disarmed. I cannot be sure that they all are. For I do not know the method of his madness. But I do know he has ascended to godhood. And thus his magic should not be taken lightly, for the power for which it keeps. But there is something here that you search for. And there was something here that I long since searched to safeguard. And now you have access. I can only apologize. I do not know who you are. I can hope who you are. I hope I know who I am speaking to in these moments. But if you are treasure seekers, if you are people looking for power, most of that has stopped, for I know I have given an easy tunnel to something awful and disastrous. I will not see a man as great as this who saw such asunder to what he had done toil more in his demise and in his godhood. I made sure that the actions and the things he made would not be used for evil again. My name is Chikern. The last forged eternal. Hopefully no more are made. Let the world be lived. And know that there is no glory here, no easy answer. Let the man rest, as I hopefully now rest. And then he disappears.
This is probably why he sets up the planetarium to be the reveal that isn't eternal. Otherwise, you'd be very confused with that statement.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, ironic thought. With everything that's set up in here, Magnus is probably, watching us here and is like, oh yes, good. They're doing exactly what I want them to do.
Is that what you got from what I just said about Magnus?
No.
He clearly didn't want that. You're sort of in a small atrium. There's pillars on either side and they exit out, and then there's a far greater room, which is sort of like a welcoming hall, drink, seating area, everything like that. And then that sort of goes into another room.
So, Chikern said that he didn't disarm all traps.
That's not what he said. That's what you heard in your video game logic. When a person says, I've disarmed all traps that I know of. Your logic is, there are traps about! And I need to look out for them. He said he disarmed most of the traps. You should just keep a watchful eye. Because it's a wizard. I deem that in 300 years a bomb is armed here. How can you look out for that, So it's like, I disarmed all of them in my time, but they could be quantumly locked in position in space, the moon comes around to him, who knows? He disarmed most of them.
So we're pretty safe, but not 100%.
Yeah, it's kind of like, don't go into it with the perspective of me being a video game NPC. We disarmed most of the traps, i.e. this room is all traps and that's what you need to look out for. That's not what I'm saying. He went through and did what he did, but he's a man who always wants to be on the safe side and be like, look, I disarmed him. If you bump into anything, that's on your own. I just don't want to be responsible. I did what I need to. Be a grown-up.
99% certain. Not 100%.
Exactly. You can't sue me. I gave you that warning. I'm 99, not 100. You're a grown-ass man. You just climbed a ladder from Earth to the moon. Fucking do your own goddamn research.
We're actually space aliens from another planet.
Technically. As was Magnus when he was here.
Shall we progress?
Is there any windows to look out?
Yeah. around this room, and then in the entrance room itself, the next room seems to be made more of glass. You kind of have small portholes. But it's sort of just like a small circle, and then you got your two pillars here, and then you walk in, and there's another larger circle, and they have like pillars and an entranceway into another room that you can't look into. But on this side in this room, it's just a giant, all wall, all everything, like you're in a space station. But you're on the side of the moon, and you're just looking out and see the stars in a way that you've never seen before. And you finally get to look at Pangea.
Yeah.
From the outside looking at it's a D4. It's a flying D4.
Just a flying D4?
No, I'm just kidding. It's a circle.
Dude,
it's a sphere.
D6
It's a circle, not a sphere. It's a circle.
D6 believers are on tilt now.
A D4? No. Nah, it's a sphere.
Okay. Pangea's route. But yeah, let's move on. I just had to see it.
You just start fucking hyperventilating.
We're supposed to be there, but we're here.
I know, bud.
I know, bud.
You turn around, and you make your way into an atrium in the center. And inside that center, much like you saw, Mac, and a message long ago. This is it. This is the room that he messaged you from, almost as if it were a carbon copy. Fuck, even the books on the tables are identical. As it seems like someone he was always researching, and there's just books open all over the place, on multiple tables, all scattered across this room. In the middle of the room is a small divot made with some sort of metal that you can't identify, probably some sort of alloy, and a perfect sphere kind of indentation. And then floating right there in the room, just as you remembered it, that blue orb circling with arcane energy erupting out of it, and a gyrosphere revolving around it in constant motion, spewing arcanum throughout the ether, isn't there. It's gone. It's not there. But on the table next to it, there is a letter. Not covered in dust, like the other things in the room. As if left as the last moment in this place. Almost as if it's disrupting the dust that it was placed on.
I pick it up.
What languages do you speak?
Common and halfling.
But you speak less than me.
We can read all languages,
Oh,
so
no.
I open it up.
You read... It is in common. I'm just fucking with you. You read, I know that you think that this is the answer to your problems. I know that you think that this will solve your problems. But instead, it is a substitution. You will swap out one problem for another. You are putting all hope from one being to another. Have faith no more in some machina, but instead on the growth that'll come without such aid. For as much as this will solve, for as much as this will do for you, taking this arcanum, taking this anchor, it will be the plot of every madman, every monster, every bad guy from time immemorial. When the real bad guy all along was that you had a host to rely on from the beginning. I learned had to pull from the ley lines of the arcane. So too shall your people. Give them the opportunity to learn. I'm sorry you've made the journey this far. But Magnus's arcane engine is no longer here. I've hid it somewhere else to provide arcanum maybe another time. But as I see it, this provides more of a danger, more of a risk, and more of a dependency than the people of Pangier need. Sugar.
What ley lines? Like, I don't understand. There is no more arcane, right?
The arcane is there. It always has been. The Praetorian stands as a bridge.
Look out the window, the Praetorian's just floating by.
See you in a fucking month!
I don't know what to do, Korvac. I thought the answer was this. But he's right. It's the worst part about it. We're just fucking we're saving one thing to just pass the buck down the line.
Would mages be better if they could do it themselves? Yep.
Yeah, probably. You wouldn't have to rely on a horrible monster.
But wouldn't it have been nice just to have it for another day? Also, yes.
Please, please, just 2 days, please.
Steady, money, please! Sure, it'd be better if I had a job, but wouldn't it be better if I had money now?
Listen, Jagard, it's just better to give them lots of Arcanum.
Oh my god. Oh, we came all the way up here.
Is there any...
But,
Up here?
what did he ask you? Why are you really here? The answer to that question did get answered, didn't it? Which is why he knew you'd be disappointed. But you climbing the tower had nothing to do with getting this. That was a goal you gave yourself to justify all the things you answered on the way up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
You wanted to look at his vault, you wanted to know who he was. You got up here just for him to tell you, fuck off, do it yourself. And if you've made it up here, you can.
I think we should... I think we need to visit the spire.
What?
Fuck! We got nothing, dude!
Yeah.
We can't even pass our own challenges anymore, bro!
I'm not smart enough to solve this. You're not smart enough to solve this. But I'm pretty sure a building that contains the smartest people
Oh
in
my
the world
God.
can solve it.
Roll insight.
I just realized, think about all the recluses in there that never leave their dorm and now have to step outside to make their order for food.
Burning a lucky roll. 22.
What is there to solve here? Do you think this is a puzzle? Do you think that this is something that when you solve, that it's going to show up? It's gone. He moved it away. Not only does he not trust humanity with it, he knows it's ultimately hindering humanity if they find it. There is no solution. He exiled it. You will not find the arcane, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
I was kind of thinking about it in a reverse way. I was like, what are the... Like, we can't use another arcanum. Is there maybe another way to, you know... Access,
So, like, get them to learn it, sort of thing?
like, access the arcanum that exists on the Earth.
In 20 hours.
Okay. But here you two are.
Oh.
Now I will say this. You look out from the window, you know you are on the moon. You're on the moon. This isn't Chakern's tower anymore.
Yeah.
The final rung on the ladder, when you pulled over, teleported you to the moon. To his teleportation entrance room. This isn't some sort of exponential, illusionary projection. You're on the fucking moon.
Do you think we can take, like, a break?
Huh?
We're on the fucking moon, Korvac.
I mean, yeah,
I open up my bag of holding, I pull out my, my Etzel, and I put it up, and, I put on a blank canvas.
Did you
Why would I not paint this?
pronounce that Etzel?
That's exactly what I was saying! Easel. I was like, what the fuck is an Etzel? And I was just like, oh, okay, got it. Easel.
Paint what I see. I'm on the moon. I gotta walk away with something, otherwise I'm gonna be very depressed when we get back to Pangaea. You wanna help?
Come on, I was there! Look at this painting! Okay, whatever, weirdo.
We're gonna be killed!
Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand as you start drawing.
Do you wanna join me, Korvac?
And Korvac, what do you do? Well, he takes his moment to realize, fuck it, we on the moon, we ball.
I mean,
29.
Pangaea would be the most beautiful thing in sight. I think I'd just be taking that in.
Give me perception checks to both of you.
I smell it.
Before I put concrete to words about what I'm about to say, is there anything else you guys want to add? What are you doing? You're in the fucking moon. You're looking down. You're told you don't need the font of an arcanum. You are what you are. You're going to be powerful enough. You're going to get through this. You got all these things to reflect on. What are you feeling? What was your perception, by the way?
16.
And yours?
It was 25. Honestly, like it's said to us every time. So, pretty ready to do what needs to be done. And
You're on the fucking moon, Josh. I don't need to know that Korvac's ready to kill.
yeah,
Tell me the fucking existential crisis. Tell me the emotional journey Korvac's going on from the moon. I don't know that the biggest and strongest man is ready to defend Mac if moon monsters come. I know that Korvac is ready to do that because Korvac is an ass kicker. I want to know what Korvac's thoughts are. He's the first Goliath on the moon, the first fucking modern man on the moon. You thought the fucking walls of Pangaea were the limits of the world, and now you're standing on the fucking moon looking at not only a continent that is left unexplored, but another half of it, oceans. And what the fuck is that with your 25? Bing! Vincent flying in the fucking air. This is the perspective of everything. You are looking at the world, and all you can tell me is, I am prepared in case something bad happens!
well, based on what we've been talking about, that would have been the thought before I looked at the Pangaea.
I know.
May I proctor a suggestion?
Nope, let him talk. He's got more.
That's it. It's beautiful.
You didn't say that, though.
I said this is the most beautiful thing in sight, but
Tell me more. Elaborate. This is beautiful? Duh.
right.
Elaborate.
Vincent's kind of small.
Yes.
Do you
It's
say
a
that?
little reflection on the light. Only you saw him.
Yeah.
Do you say that? Does Korvac?
Vincent's kind of small.
You didn't see Vincent.
I guess.
But he was like the size of a house. Right. That's a good way to describe how big he was.
I mean, It's quiet up here. I would almost say it's like a sense of tranquility. When you live in a world of noise, it's like being in a room without. You don't realize what you can't think until that noise is removed. Am I making sense? Or do I need to hit some more of that Shakern Kush?
I mean, I get it. Just now standing up here, I don't see how the Praetorian could think that what he's doing makes any sense. Like, we're so small. What does his grievances mean to the rest of that horde?
Point of inspiration, Josh. Finally, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for.
Alright.
Mark that down, Josh.
I'll mark it down. I'll mark it down.
If I can think of anything, we're looking at this for, what, 30 minutes? An hour? It's not a very long time. You just enjoy what you're looking at. Imagine if you looked at that for hundreds of years. Thousands. As someone with a big world picture like the Praetorian, when you look at something like that for long enough, even the small bits stop mattering.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you think?
He had nothing to live for. He lived in exile.
Talk about Shakern? Oh no, the Praetorian.
The Praetorian.
Sorry.
And Magnus.
And Magnus.
There's all a connection here. Mardukov lived in self-imposed exile. There's those who enter into exile and then leave exile, and they all kind of met different paths. Mardukov became crueler and more vicious. Magnus ascended to godhood. Shakern found peace. What has the Praetorian found? It's all about what you go into exile feeling is what you will stew and reflect on for that entire time.
What you go seeking.
What the Praetorian came out of exile is something that's been stewing inside of him for a very long time. Misery, anger.
Sorry.
Misery, anger, hatred, a desire for revenge. We're not us, but to him, we killed his family. You know how you felt when your mom died? Imagine if you lived in a fucking cave for hundreds and hundreds of years with nothing but the thought of your mom dying in front of you, and there's nothing you could have done to have stopped it. That's how he felt. He might not think like us, but he feels like us. I don't think there is a path to saving the Praetorian. Giving him his second chance. But we can understand what got him to this point. While also enjoying the nice view of Pangaea from the moon.
And this is the view that Magnus had every day for hundreds of years. Crazy, right?
Is that why he was so easily able to just pinpoint accuracy, drop another moon on the planet?
And because he was probably one of the smartest mages ever to live. Up until this point.
It's what perspective's for.
It's easy. When you see it, do it every day.
Mm. You're telling me
Praetorian is just sitting in space right now, and all he can see is how much he wants to make this whole planet burn.
That's up to you to respond to, Thomas.
I know, I'm trying to think of how
I
I would
just-
respond.
Just seems so childish.
He was a child when he went through trauma.
He was a child when he went into exile. What happens when you're in that exile? Your chance at growth stops. He had the power of the Eternals, but he couldn't socialize.
But not only that, being the connection between that and the Arcanum, it no longer was an experience shared through 3 living individuals. He became the font of it. Not voluntarily, but because his parents were murdered, did he go from just a piece of a whole to a whole ass pie of something powerful, of something either disastrous or catastrophically growthful to an entire planet. All overnight, all because a group of dudes decided to kill his parents. In front of him. On his birthday. I'm just kidding, it wasn't his birthday.
To be fair, when you look at it in perspective, it's almost like the promise betrayed the Praetorian. I'm sure the child Praetorian knew all about Chakern and his promise, and the group of people Chakern traveled with. And
see. Praetorians were alive when the promise was made.
Yeah. But, yeah, that makes sense.
The Praetorians didn't have baby Praetorian at the time the promise was made. You guys like to imagine that, let's say, the Phoenix and the Quetzalcoatl as 2 halves of a whole. Everyone on the council that was alive when all the Eternals were alive saw the Praetorians as the same thing. You guys see the Praetorian as this one big bad guy, because that's what you know. At the time, it was 2 halves of a whole, one entity, the Praetorians.
It's like going to like a group meeting and a family shows up to represent something. Think about seeing that promise being made that humanity could do better and prosper.
And then they kill your parents.
Because they're scared of you. I don't know how much Mardukev knew what he was doing when he killed the Praetorians.
He was an entity that was told that he'd lead the way in and save people. You walk into the next loading screen and see giant scary man.
I'm here to save you.
That's a disciple of Chakern as well. I don't know if he necessarily knew that. But how fucked up of a thought of it if he did know that connection? You know what I mean, Gorvak? And the audience at home?
Roll insight.
1.
23.
Thomas, he rolled a 1.
Oh, yeah. I say we're 31 feet away.
13.
With a 23, not you. With a 23. You know this. What has been the one rule that has bound all Eternals? You've heard it constantly. You've heard Eternals say, I can't do this because of this. Don't go into your mind and say, oh shit, I can't answer this because I never can answer these questions. You can.
To not interfere.
Beyond that, they interfere. You're not supposed to.
To not do it for us. They
Closer. Closer. More to the vest. What's the one thing they said they won't do? Because they do interfere. It's the reason why a lot of people wouldn't pick up arms against the Praetorian. An Eternal cannot
Kill another Eternal.
or attack another Eternal. That's why Malin was sent to fight the Eternal Dragon. That's why Malin bequeaths the Great Worm. That's why all of these other things have gone to skirt this rule. But what did the Praetorian just do right before you came here?
He
Killed an Eternal.
He struck the Eternal's champion. Jakern's not some dude. Jakern's a champion. Jakern's an Eternal. Quarth was his champion. By striking that champion, he might as well be striking Quarth. And that's Jakern.
Now all bets are off.
He broke the rule first.
I mean, he did that kind of with the Fae as well.
Did he? He offered a choice. A choice that was made. He didn't attack the Fae, but he attacked the Fae's life, which he gave so that you may live. With Jakern's champion struck for the first time, the rule is officially broken. Because the Praetorian has always sent an adjudicator, a third party. And while you guys have been a third party, and other people have been a third party, the entity itself has always remained sort of outside. But you know Jakern's in that axe.
This was set up as a trick, wasn't it?
Yes.
We've been given one final gift. I don't know if it's sunk in yet, because I've only just kind of realized it. What happened when the Praetorian struck Quarth? No one voids the rule the Eternals follow of not attacking each other. Remember when we had so much difficulty getting the Eternals to want to, help us defeat the Praetorian? Obviously they want to help, but they can't physically, attack him. This means all bets are off.
Well, not all bets. The Quetzalcoatl and the Phoenix definitely can't help. Vulcan can't help. Keith can't help.
Can they not help in the way that you think? Of coming and beating the shit out of him? No, you're right. But when you use that logic of that they're out and can't help at all, they surely cannot. They surely will not help. They surely cannot help as soon as you label them as unable to help.
They can now start doing things to directly harm the Praetorian. They might not be able to go and fight him.
Because they don't want to hurt you. Because they don't want to go against the promise, which is what all Eternals are supposed to be honoring at this point. But at the same time, like he said, all bets are off. He finally lost his temper and struck a direct representative of an Eternal. His protection for being an Eternal is gone.
Which in a roundabout way signifies that he's not an Eternal anymore.
He's still an Eternal because the Eternals were not something bequeathed by the Council of Eternals. It was sort of the primordial humans like, hey, isn't it crazy that fucking turtle's still alive? Isn't it crazy that that fish is still alive? What's up with that?
What's the deal?
Is it on its way? I feel like we're almost there.
It is here.
Oh, okay. And on this reflection, I think we should best call it for the evening.
Yeah.
You seem like you're pondering some stuff, Josh.
Just probably really tired and also trying to figure out how all these Eternals might do things. Specifically Keith.
You ain't gonna get Keith out of his chamber.
Exactly.
Not because he doesn't want to, but because he was specifically told to stay there.
Yeah.
Josh, you put a lot of shit on your shoulders, and I don't mean that in that, you know, the things we've talked about already this session. But at the same time, some things were very clearly put out that there is already an answer to it. The solution isn't always requiring you. Maybe you need to be in the right place at the right time. But it doesn't need you to get it done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
You're not the pillar to make everything work. Not all the time. But sometimes it's gonna be okay. With or without you. Final thoughts, Thomas?
It's kind of something I've been thinking about with this campaign for a while now. Once we realized we were coming to the end. We've all read like those fantasy novel series that are like 8-9 books long, and like halfway through you're like, it just doesn't make sense. I just don't feel like I'm ever going to get to the end of this. And then you reach the end, and there's like a certain a feeling that you only get when you come to an end of a long journey. Does that make sense?
A catharsis, sort of
Yeah.
like that, sort of.
A satisfaction on a deeper level.
Oh, this is that, and that is this, and this is that, and that is this. Of course. It's just like I said. I'm like, if you ask where the book is from, you're only gonna get disappointment because I'm just gonna look you right in the eyes and say, "You."
I had to really fight that because I'm like, Mac would still ask. Thomas, no.
Understandable, and good kudos to you. But it would have been cool to know how the picture with Frederick and Chakern, what that would have been like.
Mac Jr., I'll be able to find that.
Maybe.
With his friend, Harrietta Lodge.
Not a bad session. Pretty good one. Pretty great one. I liked it. But y'all, on the moon. Day's beginning. Sun is rising on one side. I'll allow you to determine where to go from there. The man's gonna attack shortly after midnight tonight. What's going on?
I know it kind of feels like weird that, you know, oh, we're not getting a reward to be in Magnus's tower. I already kind of have his reward.
That was why he had that conversation with you. He's like, we know you are all here because you're like, Arcanum? No, you're here because you want to go up to the top of his tower. Because he was the greatest wizard of all time. Like,
Meant in a more literal sense. I have wish. That's kind of like his greatest thing.
Magnus?
Yeah.
I mean, it would help to have Arcanum for it. I mean, you get it from Bard's stuff, though, so you're good.
Playing the fiddle. Why can he bend reality?
Think about it. If you hadn't given Druids back the magic, Bards would have all been that's left right now.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before we call it for the evening, gentlemen?
It is Thanksgiving next week.
It is.
It is.
It's on a Wednesday, but what are we doing? Are we going to be good for that, or are we going to pass it?
I have nothing.
I have plans.
On a Wednesday?
Oh, Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. Of course it is.
I was gonna say I have no I haven't
Yeah,
been-
Wednesdays are my one day off at work, so like, I'm always off Wednesday. I'll have to work Thanksgiving for sure, but I'll be good.
I can't see anything.
All right. So until next week.
Live, laugh, love.
Yes.